Here's the deal. When the temperature drops and you're caught without fire, staying warm becomes a matter of survival. Whether it's a power outage, your car breaking down in the middle of nowhere, or finding yourself stranded in the wilderness, you can't always count on a cozy fire or a heater to save you. That's why understanding how your body loses heat and knowing how to fight it is non-negotiable. In this video, I'm breaking down 7 ingenious ways to stay warm without fire. No fluff, no sugarcoating, just practical, life-saving techniques you can actually use when things go south. You'll learn how to outsmart the cold, conserve your body heat, and avoid becoming a human popsicle. These aren't just tips. They're survival skills that could make the difference between shivering through the night and making it out alive. So if you're serious about being prepared for the unexpected, stick around. And while you're at it, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs a wake-up call about cold weather survival. Oh, and don't forget to check out the recommended gear, because being ready isn't optional. Let's get into it. Understanding heat loss mechanisms. Let's cut to the chase. When you're freezing, your body is in a fight against physics. It's losing heat to the environment, and if it loses heat faster than it can produce it, you're on a one-way trip to hypothermia. Understanding how you lose that precious warmth is the first and most critical step in not dying from the cold. Forget everything you think you know about just toughing it out. The cold doesn't care about your ego. It's a relentless force that follows 4 basic principles of heat transfer: conduction, convection, radiation, and evaporation. Master these, and you have a fighting chance. Ignore them, and you become another statistic. This isn't an academic lecture. This is a survival briefing. We're going to break down these 4 horsemen of heat loss one by one. I'll explain what they are, how they're actively trying to kill you, and what you need to do to stop them. Pay attention, because this knowledge is more valuable than any piece of gear you can buy. 1. Conduction, the cold, hard ground. Let's start with the most intuitive one. Conduction. This is heat loss through direct contact. Simple as that. You touch something cold, it sucks the heat right out of you. Think of it as a thermal vampire. The bigger the temperature difference and the better the material conducts heat, the faster you lose your warmth. Water, metal, and rock are your enemies here. They will drain your core temperature with shocking efficiency. Imagine you're stranded after your truck breaks down in a snowstorm. You decide to sit on a rock or a metal bumper to wait for help. Bad move. That surface is a heat sink. It has a massive thermal capacity compared to your body. It will pull heat from your backside relentlessly until you're just as cold as it is. Or maybe you've fallen into icy water. Even if you get out, your wet clothes are now in direct contact with your skin, conducting heat away from your body 25 times faster than dry air. This is how people go from being cold to being dangerously hypothermic in minutes. Even lying on the ground in a tent without a proper sleeping pad is a rookie mistake. The ground, even if it's just cool and not frozen, will continuously leach warmth from you all night long. You can have the most expensive, warmest sleeping bag on the market, but if you're lying on the cold ground, the insulation beneath you gets compressed. This compression ruins its ability to trap air, and conduction takes over. You'll wake up shivering, wondering why your high-tech gear failed. It didn't fail. You did, by ignoring conduction. How to beat conduction. The solution is simple. Create a barrier. You need to put something between you and the cold surface. This is all about insulation. Get off the ground. Never sit, kneel, or lie directly on cold ground, snow, or rock. Find something to put underneath you. A foam pad is ideal, but in a survival situation, you get creative. Use a pile of dry leaves, pine boughs, your backpack, a coiled rope, anything that traps air and creates a buffer. That layer of trapped, non-moving air is your best friend. It's a terrible conductor of heat. Insulate your hands and feet. Your extremities are prime targets. Wear gloves. If you have to handle cold metal tools or a vehicle, you need that barrier. Your socks are just as important. If they get wet, they become conductors. Change into dry socks immediately. The same goes for boots. Good insulated footwear is non-negotiable in cold climates. Layer up. Clothing is your primary defense. Layers work by trapping air between them, creating multiple insulating barriers that slow down conductive heat loss. This applies not just to the ground, but to any cold surface you might lean against. Don't underestimate conduction. It's silent, it's efficient, and it's always waiting for you to make a mistake. Break contact, create a barrier, and stay insulated. It's that simple. 2. Convection, the wind that bites. Next up is convection. This is heat loss caused by moving air or fluid. When air that is colder than your body comes into contact with your skin, it warms up by absorbing your heat. It then moves away, and new, colder air moves in to take its place, repeating the process. It's a conveyor belt carrying your body heat away into the atmosphere. The faster the air moves, the faster you lose heat. This is the principle behind wind chill. A 30-degree F day can feel like 15 degrees with a steady breeze. That's not just a feeling. Your body is genuinely losing heat at a rate equivalent to the lower temperature. Think of standing on a ridge in a biting wind. You can feel the cold cutting right through your clothes. Each gust is stripping away the thin layer of warm air your body has worked hard to create around itself. Even in a seemingly sheltered spot, a small draft can be a major problem. If you're in a car, a broken window or a bad door seal creates a constant flow of cold air. In a makeshift shelter, any gap will create a draft that targets one part of your body, creating a localized but dangerous cold spot. This isn't just about air. Convection happens in water too, and it's far more dangerous. If you're in cold water, the water molecules touching your skin warm up and move away, replaced by colder water. This cycle is incredibly efficient at stealing heat, which is why cold water immersion is a killer. How to beat convection. To stop convection, you have to stop the movement of air around your body. It's all about creating a bubble of still air. Block the wind. This is priority one. Find or build a windbreak. Get behind a rock formation, a thick stand of trees, or the sheltered side of a vehicle. In an open area, dig a snow trench. Anything to break the flow of wind over your body will make a massive difference. Wear a windproof outer layer. Your clothing system needs an outer shell that is wind-resistant or windproof. A good rain jacket or a dedicated windbreaker stops the wind from penetrating your insulating layers and carrying away the warm air trapped within. This is non-negotiable. Without a windproof shell, your expensive fleece or down jacket is next to useless in a breeze. Seal the gaps. Convection is sneaky. It exploits openings. Cinch the hood of your jacket. Tighten the cuffs at your wrists. Use the drawcord at the hem of your coat. Cover your neck and face with a scarf, balaclava, or gaiter. Every gap you close is another victory against heat loss. Make sure your shelter is sealed against drafts. Plug holes with spare clothing, snow, or debris. Convection is an active thief. It's not passive like conduction. It actively carries your warmth away. Stop the flow, seal your personal environment, and you'll keep the heat where it belongs, with you. 3. Radiation. Your invisible heat signature. Radiation is the most misunderstood form of heat loss. Your body is like a small furnace. It constantly radiates heat outward in the form of infrared waves. You're losing heat to everything around you that is colder than you are, even without touching it or having wind blow on you. On a clear, cold night, you are radiating heat directly into the vast, empty coldness of space. It's a constant, invisible drain on your energy reserves. You can feel this effect acutely. Stand near a cold window on a winter day. You feel cold, even if the air in the room is warm. That's because your body is radiating heat toward the cold glass. In a survival situation, if you're sleeping out under the stars with no overhead cover, you are beaming your body heat straight up into the sky. The bigger the temperature difference between you and your surroundings, the faster you radiate heat. You're warm, 98. 6-degree body is a beacon of heat in a cold world, and the universe is happy to absorb it all. A significant portion of your body's heat loss, especially in calm conditions, is due to radiation. It's particularly dangerous because you don't feel it in the same way you feel wind or a cold surface. It's a silent, steady process that will sap your strength over time if you don't counter it. How to beat radiation. You fight radiation with reflection. The goal is to capture that escaping infrared energy and bounce it right back at your body. Use a reflective barrier. This is what emergency space blankets are for. The shiny mylar surface is designed to reflect up to 90% of your body's radiated heat back to you. Wrapping yourself in one can be a lifesaver. You can also use one to line your shelter, creating a reflective interior that bounces heat from your body and any other heat source back into your living space. Create overhead cover. Don't sleep in the open if you can avoid it. Getting under a rock overhang, a dense cluster of trees, or even a simple tarp shelter dramatically reduces radiative heat loss to the cold night sky. The cover acts as a barrier, absorbing and re-radiating some heat back down to you. Wear a hat. A huge amount of heat is lost from your head because it's packed with blood vessels and often left uncovered. Wearing a warm hat is one of the single most effective things you can do to reduce heat loss, both radiative and convective. Radiation is the invisible enemy. You can't see it or feel it move, but it's always there. Think like a satellite and use reflective surfaces to manage your thermal signature. Reflect your own heat back to yourself and you'll stay warmer for much longer. 4. Evaporation. The danger of being wet. Finally, we have evaporation. This is heat loss that occurs when liquid, usually sweat or water, turns into a vapor on your skin. This phase change requires a tremendous amount of energy, and it pulls that energy in the form of heat directly from your body. This is your body's natural cooling system. It works great in the summer, but in the cold, it can be a death sentence. The biggest mistake people make in cold weather is overdressing and then exerting themselves. You start hiking up a hill, chopping wood, or digging out a car, and you begin to sweat. That moisture soaks into your base layer. At first, you feel fine. But as soon as you stop moving, that sweat starts to evaporate, pulling heat from your core at an alarming rate. This is when the flash freeze effect happens. You go from warm and sweaty to dangerously cold and shivering in a matter of minutes. Getting wet from an external source is just as bad, if not worse. Falling through ice, getting caught in freezing rain, or even just kneeling in wet snow can soak your clothes. That water will then use your body heat as fuel for its own evaporation. Being wet and cold is a direct path to hypothermia. Every drop of moisture on your skin or in your clothes is actively working against you. How to beat evaporation? The mantra here is simple. Stay dry. From the inside and the outside. Manage your layers. The key to preventing sweat buildup is active layer management. Before you start strenuous activity, shed a layer. You should feel slightly cool when you begin. As you warm up, unzip your jacket or remove another layer. When you stop, immediately put those layers back on before you get cold. This constant adjustment is crucial. Wear the right fabrics. Cotton is your enemy. It absorbs moisture and loses all its insulating properties when wet, earning it the nickname death cloth. Wear synthetic or wool-based layers. These fabrics are hydrophobic. They don't absorb water. They wick moisture away from your skin to the outer layers where it can evaporate without chilling you. Stay dry from the outside. A waterproof and breathable outer shell, like one made with Gore-Tex or a similar membrane, is essential. It keeps rain and snow out, but allows some sweat vapor to escape. Ensure your gear is in good condition and not leaking. Ventilate. Don't be afraid to open up vents on your jacket, like pit zips, to dump excess heat and moisture when you're working hard. A little bit of controlled ventilation is better than soaking your base layer with sweat. Evaporation is the internal threat. You can create the perfect shelter and have the best gear, but if you mismanage your own perspiration, you'll refrigerate yourself from the inside out. Stay dry, and you stay alive. Master these 4 mechanisms: conduction, convection, radiation, and evaporation. Understand how they work, recognize them in the field, and actively counter them. This isn't just theory, it's the fundamental science of survival in the cold. Universal principles for staying warm. All right, let's get straight to it. We've covered the physics of how you lose heat. Now, we need to talk about the universal rules for keeping that heat where it belongs, inside your body. Knowing about conduction and convection is useless if you don't have a game plan to fight them. These aren't just handy tips, these are fundamental principles that govern your survival in the cold. When you're stuck without a fire or a furnace, your life depends on how well you execute these basics. We're going to break down 4 pillars of cold weather survival: layering, fueling your body, strategic movement, and mental resilience. These principles work together. Neglect one, and the others become less effective. Master them all, and you give yourself a fighting chance to walk away from a situation that would kill the unprepared. This isn't about being tough, it's about being smart. So listen up. 1. Layering. Your personal climate control system. Let's get one thing clear. A single, thick coat is a fool's choice. True warmth comes from a smart layering system. The principle is simple. Trap still air. Still air is a poor conductor of heat, making it one of the best insulators on the planet. By wearing multiple thinner layers, you create pockets of trapped air between each one, building a highly effective thermal barrier. A proper layering system isn't just a pile of clothes. It's a dynamic, adaptable shield against the cold. It consists of 3 distinct parts. The base layer, moisture management. This is the layer that sits directly against your skin and has one job: to get moisture away from your body. In the cold, sweat is a killer. If your skin is wet, you will lose heat at an alarming rate through evaporation and conduction. This is why cotton is forbidden. Cotton absorbs sweat like a sponge and holds it against your skin, basically water cooling your core. It's called death cloth for a reason. Your base layer must be made of a synthetic material like polyester or a natural fiber like merino wool. These materials are hydrophobic, meaning they don't absorb water. They wick moisture off your skin and push it outward to the next layer, allowing it to evaporate without chilling you. Think of it as your body's plumbing system, draining away dangerous moisture. A good base layer is the foundation of your entire system. Get it wrong, and nothing else matters. The insulating layer, the heat trap. This is your furnace. The job of the mid layer is to trap the warm air your body produces. This is where you get the bulk of your insulation. The thicker the layer, the more air it traps, and the warmer you'll be. Common materials include fleece, down, and wool. Fleece, a synthetic workhorse. It's durable, insulates well even when damp, and dries quickly. It's breathable, which helps move moisture from the base layer further out. Down, the king of insulation by weight. Nothing is warmer for how light and compressible it is. However, its major weakness is moisture. Standard down loses all its insulating ability when it gets wet. Hydrophobic, water-resistant down is better, but still requires careful protection from rain and sweat. Wool, the classic choice. It insulates when wet, is naturally odor-resistant, and is extremely durable. It's heavier than fleece or down, but its reliability is unmatched. You can, and should, use multiple insulating layers. Maybe a light fleece and then a puffy down vest over it. This gives you more options to fine-tune your temperature. The outer layer, the shield. This layer, also called the shell, is your armor against the outside world. Its primary job is to protect you from wind and water. It stops convection, wind, from stripping away the warm air trapped in your insulating layers. It also keeps you dry from rain and snow, preventing evaporative and conductive heat loss. A good outer layer will be windproof and waterproof. Ideally, it's also breathable. Materials like Gore-Tex allow sweat vapor to escape from the inside while blocking water from the outside. This is crucial for preventing moisture buildup within your system. Your shell should have a hood, adjustable cuffs, and a cinchable hem to seal out drafts completely. Layering isn't just for clothing. Apply the same logic to your shelter. Hang a blanket in a car to create a smaller insulated space. Line the walls of a makeshift shelter with debris and then an emergency blanket. Create layers to trap still air everywhere. 2. Fuel your body. Keep the furnace burning. Your body is a furnace. To generate heat, it needs fuel. In a cold environment, your metabolism ramps up significantly just to maintain your core temperature. If you don't provide it with the necessary calories and hydration, your internal furnace will start to sputter and die. Shivering is the first sign that your body is burning through its energy reserves to generate heat. It's an emergency response. You don't want to get to that point. Calories are your ammunition. Forget about your diet. In a survival situation, calories are everything. Your body needs a constant supply of energy to burn. Fat and simple carbohydrates are your best friends. High-calorie foods. Pack things that give you the most bang for your buck. Nuts, seeds, chocolate, peanut butter, and energy bars are perfect. They are dense with calories and don't take up much space. Fats provide a slow, steady burn, while sugars give you a quick burst of energy. You need both. Eat proactively. Don't wait until you're starving. Eat small amounts frequently throughout the day. This keeps your metabolic rate elevated and your body consistently producing heat. Eating a calorie-dense snack before you go to sleep can help keep you warm through the night. Hydration is non-negotiable. People dangerously underestimate the importance of hydration in the cold. Cold, dry air sucks moisture from your lungs with every breath you exhale. You're also losing water through unnoticed perspiration. Dehydration thickens your blood, forcing your heart to work harder to circulate it. This reduces blood flow to your extremities, making you colder and more susceptible to frostbite. A dehydrated body cannot efficiently produce heat. Drink water constantly, even if you don't feel thirsty. Thirst is a delayed indicator. By the time you feel it, you're already dehydrated. If you have a way to heat water, warm beverages are great for morale and provide some internal warmth, but plain water is essential. Avoid eating snow to hydrate unless it's an absolute last resort. Your body has to expend a massive amount of energy to melt the snow and bring it up to body temperature, resulting in a net heat loss. Melt it first. 3. Strategic movement. Generate heat, don't lose it. Movement generates heat. That's a simple fact. But in a survival scenario, movement is a double-edged sword. The wrong kind of movement will make you sweat, and as we've established, sweat is the enemy. The goal is to generate just enough heat to stay warm without breaking a sweat. This requires strategic, controlled movement. Avoid vigorous activity. Chopping wood or trying to push a car out of a snowbank will get you warm fast. It will also get you soaked in sweat just as fast. The moment you stop, that moisture will start to evaporate, and you'll become dangerously cold. This is the classic work-chill cycle. If you must perform strenuous work, strip down to your base layer first. When you're done, immediately dry off if possible, and put your insulating layers back on before you feel the chill. Embrace gentle exercise. The key is low-intensity, full-body movement. These exercises are designed to get your blood flowing and generate a low level of heat without causing you to perspire. Joint rotations, ankle circles, wrist circles, arm swings. Bodyweight squats. Do them slowly and deliberately. core engagement. Simply tensing and relaxing your abdominal and glute muscles can generate a surprising amount of warmth. Pacing. If you have space, a slow, steady walk is effective. Perform these exercises in short bursts whenever you start to feel a chill setting in. It's an active way to manage your temperature. If you're confined to a small space like a car, you can still do isometrics, tensing muscle groups against each other for a few seconds. Tense your legs, your arms, your core. It all helps. 4. Mental resilience. Your most important tool. The cold doesn't just attack your body. It attacks your mind. Panic, despair, and poor judgment are as deadly as hypothermia. Maintaining a calm, rational mindset is the single most important survival tool you have. A panicked mind makes mistakes. It wastes energy. It gives up. Stay calm and conserve energy. Panic triggers a fight or flight response, flooding your body with adrenaline. This can lead to frantic, pointless activity that wastes precious calories and leads to sweating. You need to consciously slow down. Breathe. Assess your situation logically. What are the immediate threats? What are your resources? What is the next logical step? Your brain burns a lot of calories. Anxious, circular thinking is like running a mental marathon. It will exhaust you. Focus on small, achievable goals. Don't think about surviving the night. That's too big, too daunting. Break the problem down into small, manageable tasks. Your goal for the next 10 minutes is to stuff that draft coming from the door. Your next goal is to eat a handful of nuts. After that, your goal is to do a set of slow squats. Focusing on these small victories builds momentum and keeps your mind occupied and productive. It gives you a sense of control, which is a powerful antidote to fear. A positive mental attitude isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about having the stubborn refusal to give up and the focus to do the next right thing over and over again. These 4 principles, layering, fueling, movement, and mindset, are your survival doctrine. They are interconnected and equally critical. Follow them, and you can turn your body into a self-regulating survival machine. Ignore them, and you're just waiting for the cold to win. Practical applications for staying warm without fire. Theory is useless without application. You can know all about the 4 types of heat loss and the universal principles of staying warm, but if you can't apply that knowledge when things go sideways, you're just a well-educated corpse. Now we get down to the brass tacks. We're going to take the principles of layering, insulation, and moisture management and apply them to 3 real-world scenarios you could easily find yourself in. A power outage at home, stranded in your vehicle, and stuck in the wilderness without a fire. Forget hypotheticals. This is your action plan. Pay attention, because knowing what to do when the lights go out or your car slides off the road is what separates a bad night from your last night. Scenario 1. At home during a power outage. You're comfortable. You're safe. Then a winter storm hits and the power goes out. The furnace dies. The temperature inside starts to drop, and suddenly your castle is just a big cold box. Don't panic. Your house is a giant resource cache. You just need to use it correctly. 1. Consolidate and insulate your space. Your first move is to shrink your world. Trying to heat an entire house is impossible. Choose one small interior room to be your warm room. A bedroom or a den without a lot of windows is ideal. This room becomes your survival shelter. Move everyone in your family, including pets, into this single space. Body heat is a resource, and you need to concentrate it. Now, seal it off. Close the door and block the draft at the bottom with a rolled-up towel or blanket. Close the heating vents in that room and all others. You don't want cold air from the basement creeping up. The goal is to create a small, sealed pocket of air that you can warm with your own bodies. Next, focus on the windows. Windows are thermal holes, bleeding heat out of your home. Cover them with anything you can. Heavy blankets, quilts, or even bubble wrap taped directly to the glass are excellent insulators. The idea is to trap a layer of air against the glass. During the day, if there's direct sunlight, uncover south-facing windows to let that passive solar heat in. The moment the sun is gone, cover them back up. 2. Layer yourself and your environment. The rules of layering clothing don't stop just because you're indoors. Put on your base layer, an insulating layer like a fleece jacket, and even a windbreaker if your house is particularly drafty. Don't forget a hat, warm socks, and even gloves. Your extremities get cold first. Create a nest. Don't just sleep under a single blanket. Pile every quilt, comforter, and sleeping bag you own onto one bed. Get inside and burrow down. The layers of bedding will trap your body heat just like layers of clothing. If you're with other people, huddling together under the blankets is the most effective way to share warmth. 3. Use safe, contained heat sources. If you have a non-electric way to heat water, like a gas stove or a camp stove, used with extreme caution for ventilation, a hot water bottle is a game changer. Fill it with hot, not boiling water, and stick it in your nest or hold it against your core. No hot water bottle? Fill a sturdy water bottle. No hot water at all? Create a rice sock. Fill a large sock with uncooked rice, tie it off, and you have a simple heat pack that will hold warmth for a surprising amount of time if you were able to microwave it before the power died. Never, ever be tempted to use a gas oven, charcoal grill, or propane heater indoors without massive ventilation. Carbon monoxide is a silent killer. Scenario 2, stranded in a vehicle. Your car is a metal box and it gets cold fast. But it's also an excellent shelter from the wind and snow. Your priority is to turn this cold metal box into a survival capsule. Stay with the vehicle. It's easier for rescuers to find a car than a person wandering in a blizzard. 1. Insulate, insulate, insulate. Just like at home, your enemy is heat loss through the windows. The glass offers zero insulation. Cover every window. Use the car's sunshades, floor mats, blankets, spare clothes, maps, anything you have. Block the view completely. This does two things. It traps a layer of air for insulation, and it blocks radiative heat loss to the cold outside. Get off the cold surfaces. The seat you're sitting on is conducting heat away from you. Put a blanket, a coat, or anything you can find on top of the seat before you sit down. Do the same for your feet on the floor. Create a barrier between you and every cold surface of the car. Use tape or cord to hang blankets from the grab handles, creating a smaller tent within the car. 2. Manage your heat sources carefully. Running the engine for heat is a dangerous temptation. You should only do it in short bursts, maybe 10 minutes every hour, to warm the cabin. Before you do, you must get out and check that your exhaust pipe is completely clear of snow. A blocked pipe will fill the cabin with carbon monoxide and kill you. Crack a window on the downwind side to ensure fresh air circulates while the engine is on. Your car's gas is a finite resource. Use it wisely. Chemical hand warmers are a fantastic resource. Keep them in your car's emergency kit. Activate one and place it in your pockets, gloves, or near your core. If you have a thermos of a warm beverage, sip it slowly. It provides both hydration and a small amount of internal warmth. 3. Stay dry and keep moving. Don't just sit there getting colder. You need to generate heat internally. Perform small, strategic exercises. Tense and relax your muscle groups. Do slow squats or push-ups against the steering wheel. Flail your arms and legs. The goal is to get your blood circulating to your extremities without breaking a sweat. If you start to feel damp, you're doing too much. Stop and reassess. Layering is key here too. Put on every piece of spare clothing you have. A hat is mandatory. Scenario 3. In the wilderness without fire. This is the most serious scenario. You have no walls, no furnace, and no engine. All you have is what you can carry and what nature provides. Your survival depends entirely on your knowledge and your will to live. 1. Win the ground war. Your first and most important task is to get off the cold ground. Conduction will suck the life out of you faster than anything else. You need to build a thick bed of insulation between you and the earth. Find a spot that's naturally protected from the wind, behind a large rock, under a thicket of pine trees, and start gathering debris. Pile up dry leaves, pine needles, and small branches. You need a layer at least 6 to 8 inches thick after it's been compressed by your body weight. If you think you have enough, get more. This bed is more important than any overhead shelter. 2. Build a shelter. Your shelter's only job is to protect you from wind and precipitation. It doesn't need to be pretty. A simple lean-to against a fallen log or rock face is effective. Create a windbreak with logs, rocks, or by piling up snow. If you have a tarp or an emergency blanket, use it to create a roof. Make the space as small as possible, just big enough for you to lie down in. A smaller space is easier to warm with your body heat. Line the inside with your emergency blanket, shiny side in, to reflect your radiant heat back at you. If you're in deep snow, the snow itself is your best friend. It's an excellent insulator. Dig a snow trench or, if you have the energy and knowledge, a snow cave. A well-built snow shelter can be dramatically warmer than the outside air. Just ensure you create a small ventilation hole to prevent suffocation. 3. Improvise and conserve. Stuff your clothes. If your layers aren't warm enough, augment them. Stuff dry leaves, grasses, or cattail fluff between your clothing layers to create more trapped air and insulation. It will be uncomfortable, but it will keep you alive. Huddle if you're not alone. Sharing body heat is incredibly effective. If you're by yourself, use your own breath. Pull your head inside your jacket and breathe in and out. The heat and moisture from your breath will create a small, warm, humid microclimate. Use this technique in short bursts to warm your core. Stay calm, eat your high-calorie food, sip your water, and focus on the immediate task. Build your bed. Build your windbreak. Survive until sunrise. That's it. These are not movie stunts. They are the practical, gritty applications of survival science. Master them,